Hi everyone, I'm Sloan from sloanbella.com and I'm back with another channeled celebrity video. This one is on an infamous celebrity murder in Los Angeles in the 1960s. I think you all know what I'm talking about. There's a new movie about it. I'm talking about the Tate LaBianca murder, Sharon Tate, Roman Polanski, and cult leader Charles Manson. Now, I'm not one who likes to talk about this too much because it does not interest me in the sense that there was too much of it on the media over the years. It's like consumed worldwide. Like we have to watch this maniac. We have to look at his interviews. We had to watch the trial. I don't really care about that because I see it in a different way, but I wanted to see it from Sharon's standpoint. So I wanted to understand this woman and like the texture of her soul. So I wanted to feel the texture, the nuance. I wanted her to tell me what was going on with her when she came to Los Angeles, what it was like, what she was experiencing. I was really excited to pick up on the energy of her, and it wasn't something I had wanted to do, as I said. But it's interesting because, of course, you know I go running, so I've been trying to do this video. This is my fourth attempt to do this video. The camera breaks down, the computer breaks down. Of course, it is Mercury retrograde. So I started to look at Sharon's chart because you know astrology never lies. So I looked at Sharon's chart. She is an Aquarius, Cancer rising, okay, and a intuitive psychic Virgo moon. Now, I know a lot of people go, why is Virgo psychic? Virgo is one of the most psychic signs in the natural zodiac because it is logically psychic. So the information comes down and they just speak it. They're like, I'm just going to speak this. And it sounds logical. When you're dealing with Pisces, Pisces can go into the spiritual realm, which is harder to understand and harder to pull down. So you need the texture of the earth in which to speak the intuitive information. That's why I like the Virgo moon. It's exceptionally psychic. Virgo moon, Virgo rising, Virgo sun, okay? Which tells me that Sharon had an intuitive, insightful side to her personality. Now that Cancer rising, you know the Cancer energy, and you understand that Cancer is very push-pull. So it's push-pull, push-pull. So when you're dealing with somebody that has Cancer, sun, moon, or rising, you're dealing with one of the most abandoned signs of the zodiac. So the more abandoned the person, meaning removed from the family in a certain way or put to the side, you're going to be dealing with a person with a lot of Cancer in their chart, not just Cancer, sun. Usually like planetary positions like North Node in Cancer, North Node in the 5th, adoption, bunch of Cancer planets, adoption, orphaned, or both parents passing away. You'll find strong Cancerian influences. And she was that Aquarius energy. So that gave her that bohemian, hippie kind of style, but the Virgo moon polished it all up. So she wasn't like, you know, hairy armpits kind of Aquarius moon, no, or I mean Aquarius sun style. I know all the Aquariuses will be going, what do you mean hairy armpits? But you know what I'm saying. She wasn't traditional hippie. She was upscale hippie. So that's like, you know, bohemian, hippie chick, but bohemian. So very kind of coiffed and pretty and that kind of thing. Now, I wanted to connect with her energy, but I also looked at Roman, her husband at the time, director Roman Polanski's chart. And we have, I forgot to say with Sharon, I wondered why right now I was focused on it. She was born with a natal Mercury retrograde. We are in a Mercury retrograde with all of the major karmic planets changing the way that we see the world in Capricorn, which is opposing her ascendant. Yes, I know she's not here, but I'm saying her chart ascendant. So this is why the information came out right now, in my opinion. So when I'm looking at Sharon Tate's energy and I'm looking around the scope, I wanted to check to her husband, Roman Polanski, as I said. Now, he was a Leo, okay? So he was a Leo. He was a Libra moon and a Libra rising, which I found really interesting because it's that kind of out of balance, balanced energy. So what have I told you about Libras? How does one get into balance? By being out of balance. So he had that kind of Libra temperament to him. And then, of course, I had to look at Charles Manson's chart, which I didn't want to look at because really, I really don't give a shit because I cannot tell you the level and depth of like infiltration through the media that this case had over the years of me growing up in that time frame, listening to it. And probably there isn't a 5-year-old on the planet that doesn't know about it. But now that he's passed, or crossed or disappeared or burned in hell, whichever, we probably won't hear about it as much, except that now we had to see the movie, which some people say is good and some people say is not good. Anyhow, Charles Manson was what you would assume from a cult leader. He was a Scorpio sun. He had an opposing rising, Taurus rising, and he had an Aquarius moon, which fit into Sharon's sun, Sharon Tate's sun. So his emotional nature sat on her essence. Her husband's emotional nature was in opposition to her essence. And the husband's, no, did he have a Cancer moon? I'm sorry, Roman Polanski had a Cancer moon and it was on her ascendant. That's correct. He's not a double Libra. I take that back, scratch that back. We are in the Mercury retrograde. He had a Cancer moon that would have sat on her ascendant. There you go. And then the Libra rising would have formed a square to that energy. So all of that aside, I was just kind of gauging the planetary information, which is always very interesting because you can kind of fit in stuff after the fact in reference to that. Okay, so let's go to Sharon at this point. Let's look and let's see what happened to Sharon. So I asked her to come through. And again, it's not up to me to make it happen. Just because I sit there and go, I want to talk to Sharon Tate, hello, doesn't mean she's going to come through. It's if she wants to. And I really felt that she wanted to. So I wanted to focus on her energy. So I did an exceptionally long run and I asked all of the players to come through. I wanted to feel the emotional, I'm going to say this again, when I'm doing my readings, I'm not really interested in what's been written in the media, what's been said in the paper, because these are things that have been structured to make us feel a certain way and to make us think a certain way and to make us focus a certain way, and to set the narrative about how we're supposed to see the world. I actually want to connect with the essence of the soul, the way that I feel it and the way that it resonates with me from them. So I want the communication. I always want like a direct line of communication with the energy that I'm speaking with. And I want to convey to you guys through the way that it makes me feel, this texture of communication, so that we get a different feel for the person, different than the one that we've been shown on TV, different than the one that we've experienced or been told, or, you know, whatever it is. I want to see it painted in truth, authenticity. That's how I want to see it, at least from picking up on the energy. So let's go into that. All right, with Sharon, I started to focus on her energy. And what I liked about her, she had this really funny, whimsical side, okay? She said to me that people always thought she was ditzy or stupid. She was anything but, is what she says. She has this like, and that's the Virgo moon. She has this ironclad kind of like searing little sarcastic side to her that said with this beautiful placid smile on her face. And she was quite a fun girl, okay? So if you messed with her, she could definitely mince words with the best and she could punch back verbally. But then there was this other side. She showed me when she first got to Hollywood and she kind of was standing on the street and she had this really pretty hair. She's showing me her hair. She had this really pretty hair and she wasn't all done up, but she was done up enough to be just stunning when you saw her. And she's like looking around the street. She's somewhere in Beverly Hills at the time, somewhere Brentwood, Beverly Hills. She's walking around there and she has this purse and she's holding it like how they used to, not like slung over the shoulder. It's like on the forearm here. And she's walking around and she's like looking at everything. And then I see her running up to her girlfriends. There's two of them. One is an older woman and one older than her, because Sharon's like in her mid-20s at the time, or looks to be about. And one's closer to her age, maybe a year or two younger, more goofier, more like, and she's like having so much fun. And the older woman's like, Sharon, I want to take you to a party. You both can go. You need to wear this. You need to meet me at 7 o'clock at night. We'll all go over there. I've got people to introduce you to. Your career's going to take off. Like, she's super excited. I don't know who this woman is, but the woman to me looks to be in her early 40s. She's intelligent. She's not as made up as Sharon. So actually what the woman looks like to me is a woman who has like a white collared shirt and she has a jacket, not a lot of makeup. She does smell good and she has designer stuff, but she's like a power person, man, woman kind of person. So that means manager agent to me, in this sense. And the woman may actually still be alive, weirdly. She may be really old and still be alive, but she's like an executive type before they were in fashion to dress like this. So she's telling Sharon, I'm going to introduce you to these people. We're going to do this. It's going to be really exciting. And where I'm seeing Sharon live, she's living with, it seems like she has a roommate, or she's talking to somebody in there. Someone's sitting on her bed and she's putting her makeup on and she's like super excited. She's like, I'm going to this party. I'm going to do this. And one day I'm going to, you know, win an Oscar, and then I'm going to have a family, and I'm going to have kids. She wanted like 3 kids. She wanted to be an actress. She wanted to be in the country. She wanted to travel the world. She had so many lofty ideas, or fun ideas, okay, for a young actress in Hollywood. She wanted all of these things. Like, it's just across the board, she was really excited about it. So when I look at her energy, I'm seeing her focus, and she's trying to look really pretty, and I see her like looking at her dress, and she's wearing a dress. So they go to the party, her and her friend. Her friend is like a little blonde girl behind her. I'm not sure how tall Sharon is, but she seems a little bit taller than me, which is a weird thing to say, but that's just how I get. And, you know, there were things she liked to do. She, contrary to belief, was not your typical Hollywood starlet. She wasn't overly concerned with what she looked like. She just liked to look pretty and be seen, but she wasn't like, I've got to lose 20 pounds. I have to firm up my ass, my glutes, this and that. She wasn't like that. She was a friendly, bubbly, kind of social girl who set her agenda high for certain things and liked to intellectually go over things and focus on things and put things in order so she could actually like obtain where she was going. Okay, so she wanted to do that. That's kind of along the lines of how she was as a person. So I see her going with this older woman who had, I almost want to say the woman's name is like Joan or Jill. I don't know. I'm not good at names, so I could be just making up shit. But I just heard Joan, actually. Don't know who it is. Anyway, the woman is kind of like a brunette with some blonde in the hair, but like a darker blonde type person with like a cut here. Tennis player type, lunches at the club. This is just what I'm getting. Anyway, I see her grabbing Sharon's hand when they pull up to this party. And she's like, you must come with me. You must meet these people. So they pull up to this. Okay, it's typical like Hollywood, kind of up in the hills. There's a pool. There's all kinds of fun stuff. So Sharon's like, wow, check this out. And her little friend's like wandering around. Her friend's like more interested in like what kind of dude she can pick up. It's not necessarily that she has to be an actress. She does auditions. She may do a little bit of modeling. There's things like that, but she's not like Sharon. She's not like, you know, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to be famous. It's not like that at all. So the friend and Sharon, they go along, they go up the hill. It's like super fun, okay? It's like totally fun. And Sharon is meeting people, and I'm seeing this older woman like grab her by the hand. She's introducing her to everybody. Everybody's looking at her. People are turning their heads. You know, people are talking. It's a nice house. It's a posh house. There's grass. It's up on the hill. It's not hugely big, but it's not underdone. There's like lights outside. It's getting dark. And I see her look over there, and she looks over, and there's a man over there. Okay. So she likes this man. She's flirting with him, and it's fun. And it's Roman Polanski over there, but they haven't met yet. And I'm not sure if he knows who she is or she knows who he is, but I see the flirty smile and I see the woman, and there's a group of men around her. She's over here, but kind of a sideways glance. He catches her, she catches him. It's like that twinkle of karma that people get when they walk by somebody and they're like, I don't even know you, or I can't believe I'm seeing you. You look like someone, but I know you kind of thing. So it was that kind of recognition, but she's going around the room making acquaintances. And I see Roman over here talking to like a horde of young starlets over there. There's a bunch of them all in the corner. They're like all around him, and he's holding court, and they're all giggling because of course they want work. Just a note to people in Hollywood, if you are a director and you are just, you know, old or fat or disgusting looking or whatever, the fact that you're a director and can put an actress in the movies, think Harvey Weinstein is going to get you a lot of people floating around you. But at that time, Roman Polanski was not, I mean, he was in the prime. I think he was older than her, and I think he might be closer to 80 now, and she's probably closer to 70 something if she were to be alive. So I think maybe there was like a 10-year age difference or something. And so at that time he would have been in his mid-30s. So he would have been in his prime. So he wouldn't have been gross exactly, unless you get the undertone of his energy, but I'm going to get into that. Anyway, So he's holding court, and I literally see him with a drink in his hand, and it's a clear drink like a gin and tonic with lemon. I vividly am seeing that. She's taking note of that, and she's walking around, and finally they're introduced. Their hands are together, introduced like this. So she shakes his hand, and I see him grab her arm right above the purse. So right like on the elbow crease, and he's leading her, and they're talking, and the sky is getting darker, and it is summertime, I think. It might be 1967 in the summer, towards the late end of the summer, something like this. It's summertime is what I'm seeing. And they're walking by the pool. They're walking on the grounds, and they're talking. And then I look up in the sky. I'm looking up like I'm her, and there's stars in the sky. So they've been talking for hours, and she's laughing, and she really likes him. She's like, I like this guy, and what? And he's a director. So it's good that I like him because I could get work for him. So anyway, they're talking, and they're going about things. Now, as I'm focused on the texture of that, the feeling, the way it makes me feel in the communication style of the two of them, I can really feel them enmeshing their energies like this. They're enmeshing, they're close, they're focused like this. Their energy is like connected. Their energy is like, the energy field of hers is floating in with his and vice versa. Now, I immediately go over here, and I think I'm either in like West LA, Beverly Hills, Brentwood again, in that area. In my head, that's where I am. And this is not to do with the party. This is me having my attention focused over here, telling me this is a different scenario. It's a darker scenario. So as we go into the nighttime, I'm looking over here, and I'm looking at a group of people, probably 40 people or so. I'm looking at them standing in a circle. They're in a circle, and they're standing around each other. The first person I see, and it is the Beverly Hills chief of police at that time, whoever that person is. That's how I see, because I'm seeing the word chief across his chest. And he's in a police uniform, so that's why I'm going, and it says, Beverly Hills on it in my head. And then I'm seeing a man with a doctor's bag, and I'm seeing a woman in like a Leave It to Beaver dress, so the wife of somebody. I see her going around the room. I'm seeing them all start to form in a circle over here. I see them holding hands. I see them chanting. I immediately go, and this is a weird thing to say, I go to Fatty Arbuckle, and I go to Rudolph Valentino, and I go to the Black Dahlia. Okay, so as I'm looking over here, I go there, and I don't think we're even in the same time frame as any of those people. I think it was years before, but this is where I'm going, and these people are in a circle. There's construction workers, there are bankers, there are doctors, there are lawyers, there are people in all echelons of society in all ages, from really, really old to really, really young, and everybody in between. And I'm seeing them, and they're chanting, and it's getting louder, and it's getting louder, and it's getting louder. Then my mind is thrown to Roman Polanski again, and I'm seeing him. He's sitting at a desk, and he's writing, okay? So he's writing this script. It's his words and his story. Now, I remember watching this movie when I was 13, and I was shipped off to boarding school. Incorrigible kids went to boarding school. That's where I went. Anyway, I was at boarding school, and I remember grabbing a whole plate of cookies, and there was this horror film I was going to watch, and it was called Rosemary's Baby. Now, I was after the fact of when this movie came out. I was just a little kid when that came out, but after the fact, and I remember watching it, and I remember literally dropping the plate of cookies on the floor because I was like, holy shit, this is actually real. Like at age 13, I knew that this wasn't fake. It was real. And it has been my experience in life, and I'm going to say this again, that the world is run by this type of energy. Always. I could see it. You can see it. You can see it, okay? You just start looking. You can see it. I remember thinking, and Mia Farrow's face when she realizes that she's pregnant and she realizes that she's eating the raw liver. Oh, I was like, ugh. Like, I was just like, oh my God, what is going on? It was so gross. It was so gross. So I just was horrified by that whole movie. And it always stuck with me. Its innuendo was outrageously, intensely true. You could feel it through every fiber of the wording in that movie, and the way that it was shot, where it was elusive but direct, which is how they operate on the planet, hidden in plain sight. The interesting thing too, it was this filmed in the Dakota apartment buildings. I believe that's the name, in New York City. The same building that John Lennon lived in when he was murdered, owned by a man who really, really is a billionaire, runs a music conglomeration, and is known as being one of the head people in these circles. So I found it really interesting that Roman Polanski chose to film it in this building, which is known for its occult ritual in the most literal, direct sense in the world, not in a movie form. So I was like, wow, it's like art imitating life, imitating art. Life, art, life, art. It's not art, life. It was the other way around. Anyway, when I watched the movie, I was like freaking freaked out, okay? I recognized what was going on. And that scene where she looks at her baby and she sees that her baby has those flashing red eyes. Okay, so she sees that. I'm like, oh, yeah, horrifying. And little hoofed feet. Hoofed feet. Hoofed feet. Hello? Not out of my body, thank you very much. Anyway, going back to that, I'm showing this circle of people and I'm directly feeling like they're occult practicing, okay? In the highest word, okay? Because as I'm looking at the people in their outfits, so here we go with the camera nonsense again. As soon as I start talking, boom, it shuts off. Okay, so let me get back to it. These people were practicing occult practices for real. Now I see Roman and he is in the process of writing. He's writing, and this is weird because he started to write Rosemary's Baby before he met Sharon Tate. And he conjured up sigil magic, because remember, they have to tell us what they're doing directly. That's the way the law works. It's like weird. What law, right? Spiritual law. So if I'm going to do something, I need to present it in some form. Now, if human beings don't pay attention to it or take note of it, that's their problem. But if I have said to you, so let's say we're in a conversation and I say something to you like, you know, I'm going to rob a bank. You don't believe me, and then I get caught for robbing a bank, or I rob a bank. It's because your perception of what I said, you chose to see it one way when I chose to speak it another way. That is what we say sigil magic. They have to let us know what's going on. That's what's all over the media. That's when they put shit on these things. It's when they cover their left eye. You know, they do bullshit like this. It's hidden in plain sight, but they're letting us know what they're doing. So even if you go back through newspapers and you go back through history, before certain things happen, there'll be a movie about it, okay? There'll be an absolute movie. Like we'll see a movie about a nuclear war, bombs going off, you know, an outbreak of the plague, i.e. AIDS, that kind of thing. We'll see this because it's hidden in plain sight, but they're letting us know. So you have to pay attention to what you see on billboards, what you see on t-shirts, what you see all over the world. You have to pay attention. Anyway, getting back to Roman and his little conjuring up of his pretty little Mia Farrow character. Like, look at Mia Farrow, okay? She was an Aquarius. Actually, Mia Farrow was and is an Aquarius. And she was a real, she was like, you know, she wasn't like too much makeup. She was well put together. She looked like that kind of girl. She wasn't overly aggressive. She wasn't underly aggressive, all of those things. But when you look at Mia Farrow and you look at Sharon Tate, I want you to understand that Sharon Tate was being conjured up to play in life the role that Mia Farrow had on film. And I'm not kidding when I say that. That I'm not kidding, because then Sharon goes right in to talking about how this woman introduced her to people at parties, and how when she went with Roman, they went to dinner parties, and she didn't really give it a second chance, because you know what? Here's the thing. Just because, okay, so let's say you get invited to a dinner party and it's this amazing dinner party, right? And you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And so I just got to pretend that I like this, whatever the this is, you know, I've just got to pretend that I'm a Buddhist, or I've just got to pretend I'm a Scientologist. Although I wouldn't go around pretending that, because, you know, they'll take you down for that one. But let's just say you had to pretend this, right? So you're doing this and you're in this environment where all of the things that you've ever said that you wanted are manifesting right in front of you. What you don't understand is that's part of the trick. You want to be an actress? We're going to give you the parts. We're going to give you a director husband. We're going to get you pregnant. We're going to do all of this. And then I see her just kind of going along with the plan. It's not that she wants to or doesn't. She's going along for the man, for the success. She's not saying that she wasn't aware. She's saying that she just didn't fully believe it, okay? She wasn't really sure what was going on, all right? So, meaning it could be, it couldn't be kind of thing. So when I'm looking at her energy, she's going along with this. She says, I went to the dinner parties. And these dinner parties, she is then taking my vision, boom, into almost a castle type of a thing. And this is before she married Roman. They're in Europe somewhere. This is just how it feels to me, because it feels like I don't see houses like this in this country, but you know, I'm not all over this country, so who the hell knows. But it's like a castle, and there's like stone flooring and stone walls, and it's very tactile, and there's these ornate like chandeliers on the you know, across the ceilings, and there's people. I'm walking down a hall like I'm Sharon, and I see her down there, and this woman again, this manager woman, is taking her down the hall down there by the arm, and she's dressed differently. There's some kind of feather in the back of her hair, or something that's sticking up on her collar here. And when I look across the room at Roman, I almost burst out laughing when I got the image, because it's two images this morning that I've started laughing at Seinfeld. Okay. One was the Bosco, you know, when he kills his boss's mother with the code word Bosco, and anyway. And then this one was the puffy pirate shirt. Remember? Okay. If you're a Seinfeld fan, I don't know why, but I went right to the puffy shirt. And then I look at Roman over here through her eyes, and he's dressed like that, but it's like all the gentlemen are dressed like this. And it's like I would say like a Christmas ball or some kind of event or a masquerade party. They're not wearing masks right now. This is just how I'm seeing it. She's down there and he's over there, and I see their hands being brought together like this. And I see people coming in. They're coming like this. So there's the two people, almost like I see the wedding cake, and I see the bride and groom, the bride, the groom. The bride is on the left, the groom is on the right, and it's like they're on the wedding cake. But what this is a ceremony that they're having before they actually get married. And it was performed on a specific day, at a specific time, with a specific group of people. And I'm seeing them drink out of a ladled cup. And I'm going to say something here. I actually feel like they were drinking each other's body fluids as part of this ceremony. And I'm not joking when I say that. That's what I feel. And I feel that they were doing this, and it's a union. It's combining them. And Roman is telling her, our baby is going to be a gift to the world. This is what he's saying to her. Our baby is going to be a gift to the world. And she's so excited because she's going to have a baby, and she wants a baby. You know, when you've ever been with a man and you just like love them and you want to get knocked up. Yeah. After you have the baby, you're like, why did I think that? But at that moment, that's how we're tricked into having kids. I'm convinced of it. But you know, when you really connect with somebody and you're like, oh my God, I want to have their baby. That's how she's feeling. Okay. And she is a Cancer rising. So that makes perfect sense. They are connecting on this level. This is before their actual marriage. This is an elevated circle ceremony, magical celebration of two souls that are going to bring through a third soul that is expected, that is wanted, that is going to be given as a gift to the world. This is what I'm seeing. And I'm going to draw another analogy to this because I believe that what's his name? Prince William and Princess Kate, or whatever they are, that first baby, or maybe it was the second baby, the dress that she's wearing, the Rosemary's Baby dress, that's a sign to us too that that child is a gift to the world in the same fashion. Ain't nobody wearing that dress in their right mind. It's hidden in plain sight. Remember that. It's called sigil magic. There will be a repeat. Okay? A repeat. So keep that in mind. Anyway, I'm seeing this ceremony performed, and after the ceremony, I'm actually seeing, it looks like actually white robes, and then the room goes dark to me and they are chanting, and I'm seeing Sharon walk down the hall. She does have like like cat-eyed, like the French, the mask, the cat-eyed masks. She's hidden behind this, and so is Roman, and they're walking down the hall, and they're going down that hall together, and they are embracing into this room of people that are chanting for them, and there is something that they are watching, and it is going on. Now, that is very weird because I'm not really sure like what kind of blood they use at these rituals. Yes, there's human sacrifice, there's child, all of that. But I am actually seeing that what's being done is a combination of things. So there could be like animal sacrifice over here, human sacrifice over here. I'm not even trying to look at it, but Sharon is unaware of what it actually is. She is connected in that. She has given her heart to this man, and they are bound. This is what they need to do. So immediately after that, I see Roman going off over here, and I see Sharon coming back to the States. She hasn't really given much thought to that night and that ceremony because she's getting ready for her, quote, real wedding, the wedding that will happen in a public sense. This is what she's getting ready to do. So she's busy making the plans, doing the stuff, getting herself looking right, picking the dresses, your hairdresser, all of this. And she's so excited, but it's starting to get into her head. Like, what exactly did I just do? But she loves her husband who talks to her like it's just normal. This is normal. Like we go to Easter Sunday dinner. This is normal. This is not weird. We go to temple on, Fridays, or we go here or there. We go to midnight mass. She's being told that this is normal. She knows different on a subconscious level, but she's going along with it because she wants to connect with this man. That's what's happening. She wants to connect with her husband. She is in love. He is in love with her. But he is in love with her because he conjured her up. He actually in his mind thinks, I made this woman appear like this so that I could have this connection with this woman, so that I could be with this woman, so that I could focus on my life with this woman, because she's going to propel me energetically into a position of heightened social standing. And that is what he is thinking. And then suddenly I flash on the day they're married and their hands join again. Okay. They've been married in the circle. Now they're married in the world publicly, but this is what has happened. So they have gone into this ceremony. And then I look down and I see the baby in her tummy, and she's super ecstatic about being pregnant. That's all she's thinking about is I'm pregnant, and she's excited. She knows it's a boy. That's a problem. Firstborn son. Google all these actors whose firstborn sons or firstborn child have been mysteriously murdered, killed, died, SIDS, fallen in pools, fallen out windows, speaking Eric Clapton, all of these things. Ask yourself if that is normal. Is it normal? It's not normal. It's just not. But I'm asking you to research it yourself. All of you go out and make a list of how many firstborn children of these higher ups, people in our society that we're supposed to look up to. Where are these kids going? I want you to make a list so you will know. Anyhow, Sharon is sitting with the baby. Now, I'm seeing her at about 5 months pregnant, and I am seeing this. She's on a bike, she's riding, she has a basket, and I'm seeing her backpedal like this. She's backpedaling. She's going back and back and back. Like she's backpedaling out of this deal. I want nothing to do with this, is what I hear. I didn't understand. I didn't realize. Here's the problem. If you are in your 20s and somebody says to you, you can have whatever you want, I'm going to give it to you. And what this world is based on, money and power and fame and celebrity, and you're going to get an Oscar and you're going to be a famous actress and blah, 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 all of this. You're probably going to do it, and you're probably not going to believe what's going to happen. She didn't believe what was going to happen. And I'm going to do the next video on what happened from this point. But for now, this is my first video on Sharon Tate and the circumstances surrounding her death leading up to that. And once again, my name is Sloan from SloanBella.com.